4 number 1 seeds in 6 years for Virginia. It's time to break through and reach the Final Four. And that's exactly what I think the Cavaliers will do in this year's tournament. It's a good draw in the South, no UMBC in sight, and no pressure of being the ACC tournament champion coming in. The Cavaliers are better offensively than they've been. They've got a breakdown star in DeAndre Hunter and a terrific backcourt. UVA, it's Minneapolis and the Final Four for you. Not just Bulldogs, but running Bulldogs. Gardner-Webb in the tournament for the first time, but guess what? Nobody runs against Virginia and that pack line defense. I don't think this is going to go well, but we said the same thing a year ago about the Retrievers of UMBC. I suspect UVA will be more than ready for Gardner-Webb. It feels to me like Ole Miss overachieved a bit this season, and that's a great sign for the program under Kermit Davis. They're in the tournament. They're in a 50-50 game in the first round, but I just like Oklahoma's recent history a little bit more than Ole Miss. The Sooners have played so many big-time games, and Lon Kruger has won in the tournament many, many times. Kermit Davis has as well at Middle Tennessee, and he will at Ole Miss, just not this year. Hard to believe you can get a single-digit seed with a 7-11 league record and a first-round conference tournament defeat. But here are the Sooners, and probably worthy given their overall body of work starting in the non-conference. I also like Oklahoma to win a game here in the NCAA tournament. They came in ice cold a year ago and lost to Rhode Island. Pretty cold this year, but I think it's a better draw in Ole Miss. An even game, this one goes to the Sooners before they bow out against Virginia. After taking a year off from their usual stellar play, the Badgers are back in the big dance as a 5 seed, but with a very difficult draw against red-hot Oregon, Pac-12 champions, and a very live 12-seed underdog. This is an even game to me, and even though Ethan Happ of the Badgers might be the best player in the region, I like the way Oregon is playing and their chance for an upset. Happ's career comes to an end, and Wisconsin goes one and done in the big dance. The metrics said Oregon was the best team in the Pac-12, and they finally proved it in the conference tournament, winning 8 straight and gaining the automatic bid. Also saving the Pac-12 a bit by allowing a third NCAA team from that underachieving conference. But they're not going to underachieve in the big dance. I think Oregon is winning 2 games over Wisconsin and upset winner UC Irvine to reach the Sweet 16. A 1-12 matchup there against Virginia, and the Ducks finally go under. You get the sense that K-State has been out-kicking its coverage all season long, to the credit of Bruce Weber and company, but shorthanded again, traveling out west to play Cal Irvine. I smell an upset. UC Irvine prevails. Kansas State will have to settle for its regular season Big 12 championship. Who has the longest winning streak in the country heading into the NCAA tournament? How about the Anteaters of UC Irvine? And I see one more win under their belt, an upset of Kansas State out in San Jose in the first round. Then an all-West second-round game against Oregon, a 12 against a 13. That time the Ducks prevail, but UCI gets it done. It's one of the greatest achievements in modern college basketball. Villanova winning 2 national titles in the last 3 years and another Big East crown as a non-football school. And also a winnable game in the first round against St. Mary's, which pulled a shocker against Gonzaga, but now must go cross-country against the defending national champions. I really like Jay Wright and the Wildcats in this game, and am sorely tempted to put him in the Sweet 16, but I'm going to go with Purdue's size and experience. No Final Four this time for the Wildcats, but they might be back there next year. The Gales more than made up for some recent NCAA snubs by smoking Gonzaga in that West Coast Conference final, stealing a bid and proving their own worth. And if not for traveling cross-country, I might like them a little more for an early round upset, but not to be. Just like in 2010, Villanova plays St. Mary's, and the Cats prevail in a close one. Purdue kind of lurked in the shadows in the Big Ten this year behind Michigan State and Michigan, but the Boilermakers were there all along, and they're going to be there again pretty close to the end, all the way to the Elite Eight of the South region against Virginia. It's a titanic matchup. I like Virginia in that game, but really like Purdue's experience to win 3 on the way to the Elite Eight. The Monarchs have pulled enormous NCAA tournament upsets in the past. Remember Villanova way back? But I don't think they can get it done against Purdue. Too much size for the Boilermakers, and Old Dominion goes out early with Jeff Jones. What a great job, though. Conference USA was a lot better than people think this year, and Old Dominion was the best team from start to finish. Talk about an underseeded team. Cincinnati really overlooked a bit as a 7 by the committee, but not in terms of geography. A bus ride to Columbus for 2 wins, including an upset of Tennessee in the second round, and then another bus ride to Louisville for the Sweet 16 against Purdue. That's where it ends for the Bearcats, but they'd be pretty happy to reach the second weekend. Have you noticed that once the amazing game-ending buzzer beaters finally stopped, Iowa started to look pretty normal? Yep, they've staggered down the stretch a bit, and I see them losing pretty handily to Cincinnati in this first-round game in Columbus. The Hawkeyes just peaked too early, but it was fun while it lasted. The Vols are a really good, really experienced, really well-coached basketball team that got a lousy draw, having to face possibly Cincinnati in a second-round game in Columbus. I think Tennessee deserved better, but it's not going to happen for them in that game. A head-scratching end to an otherwise fantastic season in Knoxville. Former Penn standout Matt Langle has continued to improve the Raiders in his 8 seasons in Hamilton, finally bagging the Patriot League tournament title and an automatic bid. Also good enough to not be a 16 seed or in the opening round in Dayton. A 15 against Tennessee, though, not much better. Hard to imagine the Raiders keeping up with all that firepower and all that experience from Tennessee. Red against orange, this one will be all orange, but the Patriot League champs celebrate just the same.